Hi guys, thank you all for joining me again today. So today I kind of wanted to talk about something that hits close to home. Again, usually talk about things that are personal to me. And it's something that I've seen come up a lot on TikTok and comes up on YouTube, is calling people out or calling people out for faking a mental disorder. And personally, I absolutely hate it. I hate it so much because for a number of reasons. And I think that the people that do these kind of videos need to really take a look at what they're doing and really put some thought into it. Because although I think a lot of them have good intentions and think that they're helping, the community with that disorder, they're protecting them by saying, oh, these people are faking and, it's pushing a stigma against this disorder or something, but it's got much more negative effects than positive in my experience. So one of the big things to say that people are faking is Tourette's. Personally, I can't speak from experience on that, but with any mental disorder, most mental disorders, there is, a fluctuation. You're not the same every day. There's, people experience things in different ways, and it can, come across in different ways. So some person might have these sort of symptoms that show very regularly, whereas this person, they might not. As a prime example, us with our DID. A lot of people on YouTube say that, oh, this person's faking DID because they're able to choose which altar comes out. They are faking DID because DID is a trauma-based thing and they're not suffering. Now, again, this idea that to have a disability, you have to struggle. That to be disabled, you have to be finding life so hard and it must be so bad for you. It's a negative stereotype that we need to let go of. Of course, there are struggles with disabilities, and that's obvious. But they're still, we're all still just people experiencing life together. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has difficulties. We don't need to just look at somebody and assume that their struggles are so bad or that they're going to experience things the same way as somebody else. My DID does not present the same way as other people's. I'm able to some extent control who fronts. I can't pick and choose exactly, because if I chose somebody that isn't ready or awake, they obviously can't front. But if I have a number of people who are awake, I can choose kind of which one to front with their permission. It's kind of a dialogue, it's not a pick and choose. And also, I don't suffer with memories of trauma or PTSD. And I think that these people who say you're faking it, the impact of these videos can really be shown by the fact that before I had my diagnosis, I was almost convinced that I didn't have DID. I got so close. I was like, DID describes almost everything that I feel, but I can't have it because I don't have memory struggles. I can't have DID because I work with my system and I can communicate with them. And that made me feel isolated, and I really struggled because I was so close to an answer and yet so far away because, people, that's the way you experience it. And that was the only way I had seen that you experience DID. But that's not the case. Everything is experienced differently. We're all living beings. So our, experiences are going to be different. So when people sit down and play these videos of TikToks or YouTubers and say they're faking it, it can be really, really harmful. It can be really hard as well for people watching these videos to understand that, what these creators are saying to them might not necessarily be the case. You watch a video calling people out and saying these people are faking, and if you don't know better, if you haven't educated, which I don't expect everybody to have, and if you don't know the disorder they're talking about, you may well believe them, and it's further pushing this narrative that you can only experience these disorders in one way. For people watching who have the disorder and maybe don't have it diagnosed and think, oh, I present that way, so that means I can't have the disorder, I must be faking it. Or the actual creators themselves, because they can watch these videos, and with the amount of people telling them that they're faking it, you can internalize that and start believing it yourself. And that's not fair on any level, because they know they have this disorder because they're experiencing it every day, and yet they're doubting themselves because somebody thought they knew better than the person living the experience themselves. You can't ever say, even if you really think that somebody is faking it, they aren't displaying it in at all the way that you think that this mental disorder, presents itself. And they're doing it in a way that garners them all this attention. You can never say that somebody is faking it, because you just don't know. They might be presenting it differently or experiencing it in a different way from what you're used to. Maybe even getting attention for it. But that doesn't mean that they're faking their experience. You may be a professional even. You may be a psychologist, but you're not their psychologist. And unless you are that person or a very well-trained professional working with them, you don't know. And to tell somebody they're faking a disorder, it's problematic, and it kind of hurts me in a way, because to think that we, people want to judge and people want to tear people down. Again, I truly do believe that a lot of these people are doing it, from a good place. They're trying to protect the DID community by saying, oh, this person doesn't have memory issues and can choose their alters, so that means they don't have DID. DID is a trauma-based disorder and people really struggle with it, and they need to stop presenting it as this fun, light-hearted thing. And again, I understand where those people are coming from, but telling people they don't have it is far worse and far more damaging than a person pretending to have the disorder. I think the best thing to do, if you really did think that somebody was faking it, and it really did seem that way, instead of saying anything, because again, we don't know, you never know for sure, but instead of saying anything, just don't consume their content. Because if it is faked, and if it is for attention, just don't give them that attention. But don't then tell them that they don't have the thing in case they do have the thing, which they probably do. And I'm certain that some people do pretend to have disorders. I'm sure of it, because there's millions of people in the world. There's going to be somebody that's pretending to have a disorder. But then you have to think, why? Why are they pretending to have that disorder? Because if they change their lifestyle to live in that way, there's obviously something going on with them, and they should have some kind of support and help, instead of just ridicule or this negative attention, because maybe if they are doing it for attention, that's still giving them attention. It's just something I saw on YouTube, and it made me feel a little bit unwell with this person just saying, this person obviously doesn't have it, you know, they chose to have their altar out and they continued to film a video when the altar wouldn't know where they were and probably wouldn't want to film a video. And also, why were they smiling when they knew a switch was happening? Well, that's just one person's experience. Like, this person might not mind switches. They might be comfortable and happy with their system and switches aren't a problem to them. It might also be that when they did switch and this other person fronted, they were more than happy to continue the video. You know, just consider these things. Not everything is experienced the same way. I don't want this to just be a rant. I really don't. So I just want people to understand that we need to start just trusting people. For example, you know, I was speaking to my partner Luke the other day, and I was talking about non-binary experiences and you know, gender identity, and I was speaking to him about Ren, because they sometimes worry, because they are non-binary, like they, he, they, they were worried that maybe they're just a trans guy, but they experienced their life as non-binary. So the thing is that if somebody says that they experience life one way and it's not hurting anybody and it makes them feel more valid and more happy, just accept that. If somebody says that, hey, one day I'm a girl and then the next day they're a boy, who really cares? They're still the same person. The biggest difference, the only person that will care is them. And the only thing you can do is just use the correct pronouns. We don't need to know why and go into their medical history and, you know, go into their past and their trauma and maybe it's because of this or that. It doesn't matter. As long as they're still living a happy, like, caring life, you know, why do we need to worry or care? If somebody has a disability, they have that disability, and let's just leave them alone, you know, let's just not, you know, dig into why they have it or do they present it this way. I just think that we can accept people on face value unless it's negatively hurting somebody. I think people can just do whatever they want to do, live their life, have kinks, have different gender identities, have different sexualities, have disabilities, you know, be like neurodivergent or neurotypical. You know, we're all individual humans living our lives, and we're all beautiful and we're all valid, and we should all love each other equally. Because we all have something different to bring to the table. We all have something unique to offer the world. And realising that above all else, you know, regardless of whether somebody wants to be called whatever, you know, just appreciate the person as the unique individual person, not just what you want them to be. I'm sorry, this is just kind of been a bit of a ramble. I just wanted to have a more sort of off-the-cuff kind of chatty discussion with you guys, and it is something that I'm fairly passionate about. I think, you know, maybe I'll do a video more about my life beliefs, but yeah, I think that we should not always try to be tearing each other down. And I think that every single individual, unique person is valid with their experience, regardless of whether I understand it or not. Because even if you don't understand something, it doesn't mean that that thing can't be understood, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm just being all hypothetical. and hopefully that this makes any kind of sense to you guys. I hope you enjoy my random deep conversations. I love sharing these things with you guys, and I really hope that you guys have a really good day, and I hope you watch my next video. So thanks again. Bye!